Do rogues still rely on cunning, stealth, and their foes' vulnerability to get the upper hand in any situation?
Find out if the rogue holds up in the D&D 2024 Player's Handbook. What's going on, YouTube? I'm the Mind Flayer Slayer.
And I'm Dr. DM, and today we're bringing you the 2024 Rogue. And we're gonna go level by level from 1 to 20, let you know what's changed from 2014 to 2024, and let you know what the class is like in 2024, and if it's good enough for you and your campaign. And stick around until the end, because we're gonna give you our tier ranking, so get ready for that. Now, before we begin, we're gonna issue you our official challenge anytime during this video. Get down to the comments below, and let us know who do you think is gonna play Rogue in the 2024 Player's Handbook using the new rules. If you get it right, we'll come back and heart your comment in just a few weeks. So let's get started.
Starting with level 1, Expertise. You gain expertise in 2 of your skill proficiencies of your choice. Sleight of hand and stealth are recommended if you have proficiencies in them. At Rogue level 6, you gain expertise in 2 more of your skill proficiencies of your choice.
And just like Bard here, they are kind of the skill pros. And of course, expertise gives you the double proficiency bonus. You'll be doing these things really darn well. Sleight of hand and stealth are a good choice. Definitely stealth, because the rogue, you are going to be the one that's going to be maybe scouting or going around trying to get behind somebody, give them the old backstab. So good choice, and this is a good skill to have.
Absolutely.
And also level 1 sneak attack is back. With this, once per turn, you can deal an extra 1d6 damage, and that levels up as you level up to any creature you hit with an attack roll, as long as you have advantage on that roll, or one of your allies is next to that creature as well, and you're using a finesse or ranged weapon, and the extra damage is the same type as a weapons type when you hit that.
Sneak attack is obviously an essential part of playing a rogue, and we are so excited to have it back again here in 2024.
Now, a lot of the classes, as you know, got pretty buffed. Some of them, most of them, some of them other ones not so much. But sneak attack has not increased, so you do have to kind of shore that up, because you still only have 1 attack as rogue.
Exactly.
So there's other ways to do that. There's ways to either multi-classing or using now Nick, because you get weapon mastery, we'll talk about that in the future, or even taking like True Strike if you want to increase your damage as you level up, which you might have to, otherwise you're going to lag behind a little bit with your DPR, if you will, as rogue.
100%. At level 1, you're also getting Thieves Cant. You picked up various languages in the communities where you plied your roguish talents. You know Thieves Cant and 1 other language of your choice, which you choose from the language tables in Chapter 2.
This is increased in, let's say, potency, because it used to just be Thieves Cant. Now you do get 1 extra language. How much that matters for you and your campaign? Well, I mean,
a lot of people metagame with the languages that they know going into the campaign. I think that this is a nice little boost. I mean, it's not a ton, but it's definitely an increase. So
yeah, and this is just like an extra anyway for level 1. You're already getting so many things on top of weapon mastery, which also comes at level 1, just like most martial classes. And with this, you get training in 2 kinds of weapon of your choice with which you have proficiency, such as daggers and short bows. Remember, rogues innately do not have proficiency as martial weapons, so you do kind of have to make sure you're picking, choosing what works for you and your rogue build. And then when you finish a long rest, you can make those change if you want from, for example, a short bow to a scimitar or a short sword.
At level 2, you have Cunning Action. Your quick thinking and agility allows you to move and act quickly. On your turn, you can take 1 of the following actions as a bonus action: the dash, disengage, or hide. This is obviously back from 2014. Again, another staple of the Rogues kit, being able to maneuver the battlefield stealthily and quickly and to get in and out of any situation.
Yeah, and this of course works in combat because of the bonus action stipulation, which makes it great, a good way to get advantage, especially if your stealth is high enough, right, versus the enemy's perceptions. And really this will come into play a lot more with certain subclasses, so this is just good for the overall Rogue kit.
Astarion, my boy!
I don't see you.
At level 3, you are getting your Rogue subclass. All classes in the D&D 2024 Player's Handbook are going to get their subclasses. And we have the Arcane Trickster, which is back from 2014, which allows you to level up, swapping out different cantrips and learning different spells. Assassin, which has its iconic feature from 2014, is allowed to... It's a little bit more usable now. It's easier to trigger, because that was a common complaint in 2014, and now this is going to be boosted up. We'll be talking about all of these subclasses a little bit more in a video to come. Soulknife is also up with Psychic Blades, and then Thief, the classic, which allows you to activate magic items as a bonus action and remain hidden after attacking using a magic device that is charged.
Most of these actually got an improvement, and we'll see some of them are actually a little bit busted, so get ready for our take on these. This week, we're going to have 1 subclass per day coming up after this video, so here we go.
Stay tuned.
Continue at level 3, you have Steady Aim, that's back. As a bonus action, you can give yourself advantage on your next attack roll on the current turn. You can use this feature only if you have not moved this turn, and after you use it, your speed is 0 until the end of the current turn. Good way to get advantage. It's kind of built into your kit, because you usually only have one big attack. You're going to be sneak attacking,
Yes.
try to get that critical on or whatever it is. And this will work later with some assassin abilities and other subclass abilities. So, but if you do this, of course, you can't do your hide. So
Yeah, your movement is going to be prevented. So that is a little bit of a bane, but overall, being able to give yourself advantage is always incredibly powerful. At level 5, you're going to have also your Cunning Strike. You've developed cunning ways to use your sneak attack. When you deal sneak attack damage, you can add one of the following Cunning Strike effects. Each effect has a die cost, which is the number of sneak attack damage dice you must forego to add the effect. You remove the die before rolling, and the effect occurs immediately after the attack's damage is dealt. For example, if you add the Poison effect, remove 1d6 from sneak attack damage before rolling. If a Cunning Strike effect requires a saving throw, the DC equals 8 plus your Dexterity modifier and Proficiency bonus.
So this is pretty cool. We've seen this a lot in the different classes and subclasses in New Player's Handbook. It's a way to be like multimodal. For example, the Barbarian had Brutal Strikes, where you take away your advantage from reckless attacks to do extra effects and things to that effect. So it's good because you're not just doing damage. Not everything's just about damage. It can be, and it maybe is really important, but give your class a utility is really good too.
Big flavor wins here for sure.
So for example, with Poison that was just mentioned, it costs 1d6 of your dice. So for example, if you have 10d6, you still do a 96 sneak attack, but then you also get this ability to kind of proc, assuming it goes. So in the case of Poison, you add a toxin to your strike. You coat your blade in poison real quick, forcing the target to make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a target has a poison condition for 1 minute, and then at the end of its turns, they can make a save to try to get that poison cleared out. So to use the effect, you must have a Poisoner's Kit, which you might do anyway as a rogue on your person. So I love this because it's not just, and 1d6 isn't too big of a risk to take.
No, not
to
at
really
all.
get poisoned, that's a huge condition, especially on a boss. Attacking for disadvantage every single turn on the boss is huge. I love this. I would use this pretty much every single time. And
honestly,
the rogue isn't always like your #1 damage dealer. So if you nick a little bit of damage here and there for awesome utility, I think that's going to go a long way for the rogue.
Absolutely, because it's going to add so much to what your party can do in those encounters.
Yep.
You also have Trip, which is a 1d6. If the target is large or smaller, it must succeed on a dex save or have the prone condition.
That's pretty cool for rogue to be able to do, and the cost isn't too much. Now, there's tons of ways now to get prone on your enemies. From your fighters, the topple, shield bashing, tons of other stuff built in. But yeah, it's a way for your rogue to do it with like dexterity and maybe with a sneak attack built in. So it's cool. It's awesome.
It is. You also have Withdraw, which is immediately after attack, you move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. Like basically a free disengage by foregoing some damage. So if you really are concerned about a particular battle situation and your movement in that arena, you're definitely going to have some extra utility here, some extra ability to dodge in and out. And any time that you have those added flavor wins for the rogue, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and of course you want to be rolling your big pool of D6s.
Yes.
It's cool and fun, and you throw them all at the table, and it's a big strike. But I couldn't ever see going back to the rogue without these options.
I agree.
Because you're so limited, and this gives you like a whole world of options, which is a lot of fun.
It really does. Level 5, you have Uncanny Dodge. When an attacker you can see hits you with an attack roll, you can take a reaction to have the attack's damage against you rounded down. So this is also back.
Yeah.
It was a staple before, it's a staple now. The rogue is a little squishy, and you're definitely not going to be wanting to take that big Nova damage, and being able to use a reaction to lessen that could be the difference between life and death.
Yeah, and it works at high levels too, because honestly, you're not always going to be in the front. And if you do take a hit, you might be going from like a big 30 damage, ground pound to 15 damage. So it's more reasonable once every round.
Yeah.
It's nice to have.
At level 6, that expertise is coming back again so that you get 2 of your skill proficiencies of your choice, getting the additional advantage there.
And Evasion level 7, you can nimbly dodge out of the way of certain dangers when subjected to an effect that makes you do a dex saving throw to do half damage. You can make that save. If you make that save, you then take no damage unless you're incapacitated and you can't do that. But I mean, this is wonderful against enemy fireballs, enemy stinking claws, whatever it's going to be. Dex save happens a lot, so this helps the rogue stay in good condition to get up there, to use their cunning strikes and to sneak attack.
100%. Level 7, you also have Reliable Talent. Whenever you make an ability check that uses one of your skill or tool proficiencies, you can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10. That's pretty awesome.
Yes. Oh my God. Especially because your ability check might be like stealth, where you have who the heck knows how big your plus is.
Yeah.
When you're talking about like saving throws getting like a 10 isn't always like that great because you might not be able to get to the threshold for the save. But for ability checks with skills proficiencies,
It could absolutely
Yeah.
be the difference between a fail and making the save.
Yeah.
Or making the roll.
I love it. And this makes a rogue even more reliable than it already was with skills and ability checks.
Absolutely.
At level 11, you get improved Cunning Strike. You can choose 2 Cunning Strike effects. You deal sneak attack damage, paying the die cost for each. You could do like the poison and the trip, for example, both in one. And that's pretty cool,
That's
actually.
really fun.
Yeah, and
I
you have-
love that.
And you have advantage. So you're going to reliably usually hit with your rogue sneak attack, one way or the other, whether it's using steady aim or some other method, being hidden or invisible.
I poison my blade.
yeah.
I go up. I slice the Achilles
And then-
heel.
and then you
poison down. Prone. Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I like it. Maybe their damage isn't super high, never has been, but their utility has really gone up in combat. You're going to really
a
enjoy
lot.
playing
Yeah,
rogue now.
I agree. At level 14, you now have Devious Strikes. You
Devious.
practice new ways to use your sneak attack deviously. The following effects are now among your Cunning Strike options. Daze, which is a cost of 2d6. The target must succeed on a con saving throw, or on its next turn, it can do only one of the following: move or take an action, or a bonus action.
This mimics some spells, actually.
It does,
Something, which is pretty
yes.
cool. 2d6 is a bit higher of a cost, especially if you're doubling it up with poison or whatever you want to do. But ultimately, it might be worth it. If you can't move and then take an action, there might be some combat scenarios where you can really kind of hold down a boss or some kind of creature that helps, although they can still kind of take their full action. So I'm not sure how effective this will be all the time, but if you need it, it might come in clutch.
More for your kit.
Yeah.
You also have Knock Out, which is a 66 cost, so
Woo!
pretty steep there. The target must succeed on a con saving throw, or it has the unconscious condition for 1 minute, or until it takes any damage. The unconscious target repeats the save at the end of each of its turns, ending the effects on itself with a success. So here's the thing with this. Being able to knock someone unconscious if you like get into a situation that you are clearly not capable of dealing with is huge.
Yeah.
Because it makes it actually realistic that you could flee that situation.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, they do have to make the save.
Yes.
But if it happens, yeah, it's very roguey. Like you jump on their back and hit them, or just slice their neck off, or
Yeah.
whatever it's gonna be. It's cool, and unconscious is super powerful.
It's taking a huge negative to your damage.
It's risk.
It's a lot of risk.
Yeah.
But if you're really like the whole party is down around you and you happen to be the last person still going because you've managed to dodge out of the way, you're going to be able to potentially save the whole party.
If you have nothing else to do and your damage isn't all that important, yeah, give it a shot. Why not? You could do it every round if you wanted to.
For sure. You also have Obscure, which is a 3d6 cost. The target must succeed on a dex save or it has the blinded condition until the end of its next turn.
Okay, that's kind of incredible.
It's pretty busted.
Yeah, and the cost isn't so high. You have to kind of maybe decide between this and maybe Trip if you're looking to do some kind of status condition on the enemy. Blinded is fantastic until the end of its next turn. No save there. I mean, as in it just happens if they make the save, and then they have it through their next turn.
I mean, honestly, this is kind of also a better version of the previous option because you could blind an enemy in order to escape from certain situations.
They can still hear you, but still, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the situation that I posed, this is kind of a huge reduction in cost for a similar effect.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, 3d6 instead of 66 for, yeah, it's awesome. And the other one also, now we think about unconscious, it does go away if you hit them, so you might get like 1 crit, but then like it's done. This one goes on for like their whole turn where they're kind of like attacking at advantage, not knowing
Yeah.
what's going on, and you're attacking them at advantage as well when they're blinded. So,
Stabbed you in the eye.
yeah, these are a lot of fun,
Yeah.
Level 15 is Slippery Mind. Your Cunning Mind is exceptionally difficult to control. You gain proficiency in Wisdom and Charisma saving throws. Before, I think it was just Wisdom or just Charisma, but anyway, now you got both. So you're going to be checking out a lot of the saving throw boxes
Yes,
for
you
making
will be.
saves. So that's
You're
really
going to have
cool.
a very full character sheet. At level 18, you have Elusive. You're so evasive that attackers rarely gain the upper hand against you. No attack roll can have advantage against you unless you have the incapacitated condition.
Okay.
This is game breaking. Against a DM who has some pretty loaded dice, I mean, come on. Not being able to have a creature have advantage against you for attacks, I can't imagine something much more powerful than that.
No, this is an awesome level 18 ability, and I think it cements the rogue's position and where they want to be as in not taking damage and either doing a big damage in return or really incapacitating the creatures in one way or the other. So it lets you do that
100%.
to their best effect. So level 19, you get Epic Boon. That comes back, as all classes do at the same level. And tell us about level 20.
You have Stroke of Luck. You have a marvelous knack for succeeding when you need to. If you fail a d20 test, you can turn the roll into a 20. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. A short or long rest?
Oh, I didn't notice that. Short rest is fantastic.
That's wild.
Yeah, because you have multiple short rests. It even works on a long dungeon crawl. Usually some of these level 20 capstones, like you can do this one time per long rest, a lot more limiting. Here it's going to happen often. And now here's the secret to this. You know the secret to this one?
What's the secret?
A 20 succeeds, right? But what is a 20 also?
A critical hit!
Critical hit! So this means like once per short rest, when it matters, your big sneak attack, when you're rolling like 10, 15, d6, whatever at this point, you're going to then be like, I just want this to crit. And you crit, you automatically hit, and you roll like 30 d6 or whatever it's going to be, include all the effects. Really cool.
Yeah.
I love this.
This is actually a reason to take the rogue all the way to level 20.
Especially some of the subclasses are pretty fun. So,
yeah, for sure.
All right, here's our tier ranking for the rogue.
So I'm gonna be honest, I gotta give this like a high A. I think it's very powerful. They've done things that are really in line with the vision for the rogue that is so adored by the community, and they've just cranked it up a notch, giving more utility than the rogue, which was already a very utility heavy class before. So I don't see any downsides to this.
Yeah, 1 to 20, this screams rogue, like top to bottom for me. I would say it's A with everything it can do. The damage, of course, is maybe not the highest, although you can kind of fix that with certain abilities or feats, etc. So don't worry on that. Don't fret on that. There are ways to do that. But everything else it can do is tremendous. I definitely give this an A for sure.
If you're enjoying this content, please remember to sneak attack that like button, ring that notification bell, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We love engaging with all of your comments. You can also go over to fanrolldice.com. We are members of their affiliate program. If you type in code GG10 at checkout, you're going to get 10% off your order, as well as a portion will come back to us so we can continue upgrading and leveling up this content that we're bringing to you.
You can also join us on YouTube. Go on our homepage, press the join button. You can become a member, become a Green Squire, Green Knight, Green Lord, and that helps us out a ton as well. So we really appreciate you. All right, Rogues, you ready to elusive our way out of here?